What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle. Thanks for joining again. Students at a school in Manchester, Michigan, instigated by parents, refuse to comply with the mask mandates and enter school. This is the next phase. School boards can enact policies, but someone also has to enforce them. I want to make sure that this is clear. So if this video is taken down by YouTube, it won't be for me saying to not comply. I am saying that we should comply. There's always a case for non-compliance at certain times. I'm saying right now, it's a time to stand down, regroup, and strategize. This ain't the way. And I'm going to talk about why I feel that way in this video.
They don't have a mask.
If you don't want to go in, you don't have to.
What if they do?
I'm not going to force anybody. I'm not putting masks on anybody. That's not my job. The order.
So they can go in without the mask.
This is a county health department order.
Okay.
And a policy of the school.
Right.
That if anybody that's going to go in, they got to have a mask on.
There is no policy.
I'm not arguing.
Okay, so they can go in, guys.
They can go in.
They can go in. Go on in, guys.
Go in.
Well, they can't enforce it.
I said if they have to have a mask.
Yeah, you guys, they can't touch you. Just go ahead and go in.
They can't touch us. Go in.
They cannot touch you.
Go in. They can't touch us. They actually blocked it. I know.
They can't touch you, guys.
It's a mandate.
No pushing.
You cannot touch students. Oh yeah. Drink a bottle of water. Eat
They cannot touch you, guys. There you go. Yeah. They cannot touch you. Be orderly. Be kind. Be kind and respectful. Be kind and respectful.
This ain't the way. We've got to be smart. We've got to be strategic and put ourselves in a position to succeed. I want to make sure this is clear as well. I have nothing but support for those people out there in that video. I'm on your side. I just sent my 2-year-old to daycare, and he's got to wear a mask. One of the dumbest things I have ever seen in reading history in any society, not just my lifetime, one of the dumbest things I have ever seen in my life. But make sure I say I complied. He went to school with his mask on. We've got to be smart about this. Do I think it makes sense? No, I don't think it makes sense. I replied to this, non-compliance ain't the way forward. I think many fellow citizens would love to see the government bring cops in, drag parents and kids out to jail, all while praising at the same time, wanting you fellow citizens that didn't start this whole thing. We've got a V procedure to help protect you from this thing, and they still want to do this. It's not optional. This is a mask mandate. All while supporting those things, they still support a corrupt establishment government and potentially corrupt figures. They don't even want to look into the corruption. They praise them like they're gods. You might have heard this term. It's the church. It is the branch Covidian. And they have the power. Non-compliance might work in specific parts of the country. I don't know where. So I'm not condoning any non-compliance right now. It's got to make sense. If you live in an area where this branch Covidian has power, you're giving them the excuse they need to do what they've always wanted to do. And that's to crush you. It ain't about a mask. Many of these same clowns who have been anti-police over the last 2 years and even before that are the same ones who would love the police in this case to just eliminate the threat to their lives. Same ones who cheered Rush Limbaugh dying, same ones who hoped the worst for Joe Rogan, who just beat the C-19, same ones who lie about Steve Bannon, lied about the procedure that Joe Rogan and some others were prescribed by doctors to take. The same ones that are easily manipulated. Same ones who don't think you're black unless you subscribe to the establishment Democrats cult ideology. You can't be black. You couldn't be.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
There is no length that they are not okay with. So that means there's no limits to what they would approve to make sure that you bend the knee.
Conservative YouTuber and pundit Mark Dice decided to see how far the authoritarian streak can go. Why not throw all unvaccinated adults in jail, he asked.
We're going to start having them arrested if they refuse.
I agree.
Print, birthday, signature to incarcerate the anti-vaxxers. I'm not sure what country they think they're living in. It's time to give them a little incentive, and they can think about what they've done sitting in jail until they're ready to take the jab.
And that's what this mask mandate represents. Get on your knee. They view you as a threat. We are at the point where we need more sophisticated long-term planning. If you're in an area that has done a mask mandate, it's over. It's too late. You've lost the political battle. Time to retreat. Because to win the political battle peacefully and through democracy, it will take quite some time. This is someone on Twitter, I do not know, just replied to this tweet. You look at their profile, they describe themselves as, I'm that chick who makes elaborate cupcakes to bring to the revolution. Freedom fighters got to eat too. So it's like a support. I'm a figure of nice revolt, of revolution. In response to those children and those parents, she says every kid who refuses to wear a mask in class should get a 0 in that class for the day and be sent to an empty classroom or auditorium to sit it out. Then they can all breathe on each other and leave everyone else safe. You think this is a joke? This is how they think. Taylor Temple in response said, I respect your opinion tremendously. I respect yours as well, Taylor. Tell me this. When was the last time anyone ever complied their way out of tyranny? Open for respectful discussion. That is a fair point, a great point. To clear up my point, is there's always a time where noncompliance makes sense. Now is not that time I couldn't find a place in the country, but I don't know the whole country politically and as far as not Democrats, but demographics. But there is a time when you have the upper hand. If you don't have the upper hand, what you're looking at is compliance like J6. J6 was an act of non-compliance. And I have nothing against my fellow citizens who felt unheard and did that. Same as I don't have anything against my fellow citizens who felt unheard, and even though I don't agree with them for the Black Lives Matter rallies and riots, these are hurt people, confused people on both sides. But specifically on J6, what did it get them? What did this non-compliance do? Got them hemmed up in a cell somewhere with lawyers who are incompetent defending them and lawyers who won't defend them because they don't want the scarlet letter on them. Solitary confinement. Got squashed like an ant. It was asinine. Non-compliance doesn't always make sense. It's got to be smart. Proud Boys do non-compliance. Antifa does non-compliance. It's asinine. Non-compliance is not always the way, especially without proper planning. I attended the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. I know exactly where Manchester, Michigan is. that ain't the place to non-comply. Ann Arbor, Michigan rules Washtenaw County. Obviously, 72.4% of the people voted Democrat, and just because it's Republican doesn't mean it's any better. So you've got at least 72.4% of the people, add in some of the Republicans who agree, you probably have a good representation of 7 out of 10 people would rather have you dragged out of there. You don't have the numbers. That's not a place to be non-compliant in this way. If you're on the left and you're non-compliant, you'll have a chance, but not if you're coming from this. This is a place of liberty, not really right, not really a right or left thing. Ann Arbor metro area is obviously very liberal. When you look at the scale of liberal, it's literally off the chart of this bestplaces.net map. Michigan overall is leaning liberal, has a liberal governor, of course, Gretchen Whitmer. Then the Senate, House are Republican. It's always been kind of a purplish back and forth type state, but you don't have the power there. You're underneath Ann Arbor, Michigan. People and family and others say it's just a mask. It's no big deal. I was perfectly fine with it when the whole thing went down and started. We didn't have the V. We didn't know much. We've been with this for almost 2 years now. We have a V. I agree. It's not about the masks. If the masks aren't a big deal, then why aren't they optional? I'm not the one making them a big deal. I'm not the one forcing on anyone. That's being forced on us. If it's not about control, why are these people triggered about kids going to school without a mask? Let me know. Do you agree? What am I missing? You've got to be careful on this topic. If you talk about anything about violence, I am not with you. I am completely out. You can go on somewhere because you're not winning that battle. So don't even talk tough on the internet. I want to talk intelligent. I want to talk strategy. What are you thinking?
When is the last time you paused and saw the beauty around you rather than the storms? So take a moment. What are you grateful for today?
What I'm grateful for, this is just a random thing I saw the other day. This YouTube channel travels the world, and they showed where monarch butterflies hang out during the winter in Mexico. It's an unbelievable sight. I'll leave you out with some video from this. Thanks a lot for listening. Take care.
It's not just visually stunning. It's not just emotionally stunning. It is also oddly, I don't know the word. It sounds absolutely magic because you've never heard before the sound of tens of millions of butterflies flying around you because it only happens here. It's one of the rarest sounds on earth. You're about to get a listen.
Up and we'll sit and wait with them. Oh, hang on. Okay, let's get this thing recording. To really hear the sound of millions flying, we'll wait for what we call a waterfall. It's like this. Right now they're getting sun. They're absorbing that energy so they can go down and drink nectar in the wildflowers below and mate. These monarch butterflies are having a pretty good year. Their numbers numbers are up 140% from last year. And while that's still considerably lower than just 2 decades ago, it hints at their resilience if we just give them a little help. So, what can we do? Well, planting native milkweed and native wildflowers is a great first place to start. We need to restore their habitat, expanding through North America so that not only can they survive the winter here, but they can survive the entire spring, summer, and fall that they spend in the United States and Canada. But for now, I will leave you with this thought here. The sound of millions of monarch butterflies flying around is a world treasure, and we need to protect this incredible species for generations to come.